Hey VC, how's it going? Right, okay, it's been a good month or so since my last video. I picked up a lot of stuff. To be perfectly honest, I had a bit of a purge a few weeks ago, and the cash from which I used to buy quite a bit of stuff. I bought a small collection of records by the Fall. I bought 19 records by them, which I got for a really good price, which I'll show in a different video. I've also just been away with the family to Spain for a week, and I picked up a few records while I was there, so that's another video for the future. But this is just random stuff that I picked up over the last couple of months, really. First, this is what you can hear in the background. This is High Tension, their debut album, Island Records, 1978. As you can hear, hopefully it's a Brit funk classic. I'm a big fan of the Brit funk sound, so bands like High Tension, Heatwave, Central Line, even Imagination, I like all that sort of stuff, and the records are always cheap, so that's cool. So good stuff. Right, okay, first up, this is a new release from a couple of weeks ago. This is an album called Child Queen by Kaja Bonet. I love the artwork, first of all. Now, she made an album a couple of years ago. I should quickly show, I've been listening to this again recently. This is also stunning artwork, let's check that out. The record's called A Visitor. I think it's actually a mini album, it's 8 tracks. Yeah, I loved this album when it came out. I played it to death, and so much so that I knew the new record was coming out, and I was a little bit hesitant about picking it up just because I enjoyed this one so much. I was just thinking, well, has her sang on and moved on that much? And it has, it really doesn't disappoint. It's the songwriting is just as good as the last album. Her vocals are sort of very reminiscent of Minnie Riperton. She sings in that really high register, but the sound isn't dated. It's a very current sound. The style is it's a bit jazzy, a bit soul-y, a bit folky in places, and the songs sound like they belong together. It plays like an album. You know, so often you pick up records and it just feels like, you know, a bunch of songs just cobbled together. This is the opposite to that. It really does feel like these songs are meant to sit together. It's only 10 tracks, but yeah, well worth picking up. I got this from Bandcamp. Yeah, it's coloured vinyl. I think it's peach coloured vinyl, and it comes with an additional 7-inch. I like that. You know, ever since I think picking up Songs in a Key of Life, you know, the double album, and it came with that additional EP, 4 tracks. Just the fact that there was so much good music about it, you know, it wouldn't all fit on one album. So, and she's done the same thing. So it comes with an additional 7-inch, which I quite like that touch. So very cool. Right. I've already spoke about this record a little bit, so I won't go into too much detail. This is Ill Considered live at the Crips Part 1 and 2. Now, I showed before Part 2, which came out as a sort of white label limited run of I think 300 copies. This is the 2 parts combined in, you know, the official sleeve. I mean, great artwork again, gatefold sleeve. I love everything about this band at the moment. I think I've gone on about them enough, but the music doesn't disappoint. Real care in the artwork and the style of the whole thing. The pressing is lovely. Definitely recommend it. So I've been playing this again the last couple of weeks, so great stuff. Right, okay. Right, picked this up a couple of months ago. This is Blues and Roots by Charles Mingus. This came out early 60s, I think it was 61, 62. This is a mid-60s pressing, UK pressing on Green Atlantic. Yeah, so this is a little bit different to the other stuff he was recording around this time. It's like a little bit of a gospel feel to it in places, a little bit bluesy, obviously, you know, hence the title, but also a little bit of that sort of New Orleans jazz style as well. His version of Moaning's on here, Wednesday Night Prayer Meeting, beautiful record, and in great condition as well. So, and I got this, I think I've had a tenner for this a couple of months ago. Really pleased with that, so cool. Right, okay. Up until a couple of months ago, I didn't have any Nick Cave records on vinyl, and nothing prior to the Abattoir Blues Lyra Orpheus. This is The Firstborn is Dead, which came out in, I think, about 85, wasn't it? Yeah, 85. So I think this is his second record. It's the best, I suppose, the most well-known tune on this is Tupelo. I've had a lot of his earlier stuff on CD for years, but I say a couple of months ago I showed in the video I picked up a copy of Tender Prey. So I got this last month. This is original UK press, in great condition, just perfect condition, on Mute Records. Original inner, there's a label. So yeah, I'm trying to pick up all of the Nick Cave stuff on vinyl, so pleased to pick that up. Cool. Right, okay, this is a little bit different. This is Ricky Illalonga, Sunshine Love. Now, I'd love to sort of lay claim to find out about this one myself, but I actually heard a DJ set by David Holmes. Now, I really like David Holmes. I like his scores for films such as 71, Out of Sight, Ocean's 11, all that sort of stuff. His DJ sets and DJ mix CDs are always interesting as well. The set that I heard on the radio, this I think was second song in, and I actually just Shazammed it. You know, I'd never heard it before. The song was "Love Is the Only Way." If you want to check it out on YouTube, do. Just a beautiful, almost got a little bit of a reggae feel to it. Real, you know, real sunshine sound. The album doesn't disappoint either. It's got that Zamrock thing going on, so you've got big fuzz tone guitars all the way through it. But a couple of the songs are a little bit more singer-songwritery, a lot lighter. This is a reissue. I think it originally came out about, I think, 76. Original copies go for 60, 80 quid, something like that. This is a reissue on Now Again Records from 2012. This cost me a tenner. Got it on Discogs, so yeah, pleased with that. Right, okay. I mentioned before about a friend of mine who has been helping out a local charity shop, Steve. By any records that are coming in, he's playing them, play grading them, and then pricing them up accordingly. So he's pricing them up so it's fair to the charity, that they're getting the sort of the most money for the items that they can, but also he's not overpricing them, so whoever's buying them is getting a good deal basically. So it works well. It was through that sort of charity shop that I bought the full collection, so I'll show that in another video. But at the same time, he also had a Smith's collection. Now, I could have bought it. I'm pretty sure I got it for a decent price, and I could have made a bit of a turn on it. But I'm not a dealer, you know, so I know that if I'd have bought it, although I've got all the Smiths albums, I know that I'd have been tempted to keep bits and bobs. It had pretty much all of the 12-inch singles as well, all in beautiful condition. I think there were 3 missing. I remember Hand in Glove wasn't there, and a couple of others. But yeah, so I passed on that. And I know that sold pretty quickly. But there were a few Morrissey albums in there as well, just early stuff, a few 12-inches as well. I did buy this from the shop. This is Viva Hate by Morrissey. Now, I have a bit of a sort of mixed relationship with Morrissey's music, because he's definitely made some of my favourite records. Some of those Smiths records are just perfect, but he himself just winds me up. This album, this was his debut solo album, 1988. This is in absolute mint condition, original UK press. It contains perfect pop singles such as Suede Head and Every Day's Like Sunday, but some of the album tracks are a little bit pedestrian. If there was a league table of Morrissey records, you'd at the top, well, Morrissey related records, you'd have like Queen Is Dead, you'd have Meat Is Murder. At the bottom, in the relegation places, you'd have Maladjusted or World Peace Is None of Your Business. Well, this is a definite mid-table. It's the Everton of Morrissey albums, basically. So I thought I'd drop a football reference in there, as it's the World Cup at the moment. So, but yeah, but pleased to pick that up. So yeah, cool. Right, and from another charity shop, a little bit similar, New Order's first album, Movement. This, I think, is third press. Factory Records as the sleeve. I like the way it's got actually the original inner. You see a little factory logo there, which is cool. Yeah, this is an album I'd always avoided in the past, purely because I'd read a bit about it, and it's always sort of listed as being a bit of a transitional album for the group. Obviously, following Ian Curtis's death shortly before this, which was obviously the end of Joy Division, they then proceeded as New Order, but hadn't quite got their sound together yet, so they hadn't decided on who was going to be the vocalist. The vocals on this are mixed between the band members, so you've got, although Burn Summer sings most of it, you've got Peter Hook doing a couple of tracks as well. Actually, the best track on the album, Dreams Never End, I think is a hooky vocal. But I was really impressed by this. I mean, the sleeve itself, I love all Peter Savills artwork for Factory Records. Yes, so this particular sleeve, this at the top is the F on its side, so it's Factory Records Limited. This is the L for Limited at the bottom. Yeah, really nice Really nice artwork, factory 50, that's 50th release on the label. But yeah, I actually prefer New Order to Joy Division. I really like the sound as it went on later into the 80s, where it became more electronic. I prefer that type of sound to Joy Division, so that's my taste. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will moan about that, but that's my personal taste. But really pleased to pick that up, so nice copy. Right, I also picked up this is from a card boot, another New Order LP. Now this is Radio 1 Live in Concert. This is a Glastonbury performance from 1987. This release came out in 92 on Windsong Records. Now the record is in great condition, excellent condition, but you can see from the sleeve, basically when I bought it, it was in shrink, and it's not water damage, but it's clearly the moisture underneath the shrink which has caused this sort of rippling effect, which is a real shame actually. The album goes for pretty decent money on Discogs. I mean, I think I paid £4 or £5 for this. I'd say it plays great. Pleased to get it, and it's a great performance. You know, it's got Touched by the Hand of God, Temptation, True Faith, Bizarre Love Triangle, Perfect Kiss, Age of Consent, great stuff, you know, so it's just a shame about the sleeve. Anyway, cheers.